Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Otaku Tea Podcast. Woohoo!
Taco Tea Podcast,
So,
episode number 7.
7. Yes, and guess what? We actually have a guest in today's podcast.
Our first guest. Who
Yeah,
could it
our
be?
first, right? So she is one of my friends, and she is also a small artist who actually did our cover art for this podcast, which turned out amazing. And her
Yeah,
name
I love it.
is Abby. Say hi, Abby.
Hi.
Yeah, she's she's a little nervous. Are you a little nervous to be on here?
I mean, I've never been on a podcast before, so it's a little different, but I'm going to try to work through it.
See, that's how we felt when we first started this podcast, so don't worry.
Yeah, just talk about what you want to talk about, and I guess the conversation will flow from there, and it should be okay. Won't be awkward at all, so don't worry.
Not at all.
No pressure. Got it.
Right. So Abby, you should probably talk to the audience a little about yourself.
Oh, well, I always love this question. No, but
Yeah, who
yeah,
are you?
I know, who am I? No, my name is Abby. My artist name is Abiirinn. I'm just an artist, self-taught artist. I never really went to like art school or anything like that. Just been doing it myself. I didn't really get, serious about it till like after high school. I did a little show before um around like 2019. I did my first show with a few other artists. So that was a big thing. I don't know if you could say my style is, I mean, I've had people tell me it's anime inspired, but it's like a mix of both because I never know really what to call it. So I guess I just let other people tell me what it's about, but just a simple artist. That's really all I am. Just, trying to get my name out there, I guess.
Yeah, what I really like about your art style is that you take the most simplest like concepts and like work with it. Like you make characters out of like the smallest thing. Like for example, the I think it was the blueberry. You
Mm.
took the fruit and you just made a whole character out of it, which was amazing to me. I can't do that. And I remember like growing up with you and you being this like awesome artist, like doing all these like drawings in like your notebook, and everyone was like, "Ooh, look, she can draw."
Oh my God. I remember when, I know you remember this because when we ever had like a art project to do, everybody just come to me be like, I want Abby as my partner. No, I want you to do it for me. That, oh my God, that used to be so hectic back then.
Oh my
But
gosh, yeah.
it was a lot. But even in high school, people still did that with me. Like they wanted me to be their partner or to draw something. I even actually got a little, high school award for artists
Ooh,
and everything like that. So it was nice, but I feel like I'm trying to improve more. We always trying to learn more and grow. And I guess I'm really trying to focus on character design.
nice, nice. And it's really important to like give yourself room to learn and to grow from like whatever, because I do notice like a big change from like how you used to draw in elementary school to now, which was like a huge step, huge difference. Your drawings have gotten more detailed, more inspiration from other things. So yeah, I would say it is kind of like anime inspired, but also in a unique way. And like, and I love how you because I know how a lot of people take anime art style and keep it Japanese, you know. You, on the other hand, you take like all races and kind of work with that. So I find that really awesome of you.
Oh, thank you. I've heard people talk about when they're doing a drawing, they actually incorporate different features that they have on themselves and put it into their characters, which I didn't realize. And then I even looked at it for myself, and then I was like, oh, you know what? I've always had kind of a wide nose and thick eyebrows, and I noticed I put that into my own characters when I'm drawing them. So I guess it's true, you know?
Yeah, I guess
I guess you
so.
draw what you're familiar with.
Yeah, like I like say if someone's more on the thinner side, they'll draw their characters more thin. If their character is thicker, their character has darker skin, people are gonna draw more of what they relate to because they're drawing features that they have already, you know?
Yeah, and with anime, it's almost always the same, and especially the new animes coming out, like it's almost all the same art style, kind of, with like the big eyes and like thin faces and like all of these similar features, just the hair is a little bit different, and if anything, the only difference is like the hair color.
Yeah, I think I had read about it also is that it's a art is self-expressive. So a lot of the times anime tends to exaggerate things because they want to be able to, be free with their work and whatever story they're making or whatever character, they want to be able to emphasize everything. That's the whole point. You got to emphasize and make it bigger than what it could, what it is already.
Right. Well, Chris, what do you think her Abby's art style is like? You've seen some of her stuff, haven't you?
Yeah, I think it's more. I don't know. I can definitely see like the anime elements that you've taken inspiration from, but like you also have like the more, I guess, realism added to it. So it's not like the noses are like super pointy like they have in some anime. So I guess that's sort of like that's your art style, and you're not trying to mimic others, I guess. So that's always good.
I mean, cause I've had people tell me too, like they'll tell me about my art style, and I always find it weird because I'm like, I don't see that I have an art style. I think it's more I just like to incorporate what I like, especially, you get inspired by other artists. There's a lot of artists that I get inspired by. I specifically like when I like to see characters that have doll-like features. Like I like the big eyes, I like the eyelashes, the soft blush. Like I like characters that like look like dolls or like those ball jointed dolls. I think they're so pretty. Those are one of my big inspirations, like those type of things.
Have you watched Rosen Maiden?
Yes, I watched that. Wow, I watched that when I was probably in middle school. I remember watching it, but it didn't even get into my mind about doing it because like I said, I didn't take art seriously till I was like in high school, but
Uh
I
huh.
adored their dresses. I loved their dresses from the show.
Yeah.
I
I
have
mean,
no idea what
obviously,
anime that is.
It's
Suginto is the
basically
best character.
it's
Oh,
basically like it was a show about these dolls that came alive and they were having a battle against each other. It was something like that.
I mean, it was basically um, it's similar to like the Fate series where they have the Holy Grail War,
oh,
but
okay.
essentially the dolls fight and battle each other to become the one doll that becomes like, I think Alice is what they're.
Yes, that's what it was.
Yeah, so they want to meet their maker who created them, the doll maker. So in order to do that, they have to become Alice, and they get to be with their maker again.
Why does this sound very familiar? Like as if I watched like a part, maybe like 10 minutes of this.
You most
I
likely have at some point. It was pretty popular back a few years back.
I might have shown you a clip or two or something.
Maybe that's what it was. Because I remember Alice, and I know that, like, from what you guys were talking about, I can just imagine, like, these little chibi ish dolls just running around with, like, the weirdest, like the Lolita stuff, the
Mhm.
Yeah,
Lolita dressing.
right.
Am I hitting the mark, or am
Yeah,
I
I mean
off?
that's pretty much it.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
I mean, you have the main doll Shinku, who is in a red dress and blonde hair, and she basically beats up the main character because he's a wimp.
Wait. Is this the one with the character going, ha, ha, ha?
Yeah, that's what was her name? Suseki or something.
Yes, okay, yeah, you did show me this one.
She has like
Okay.
the heterochromia eyes, and she always says
Yes. Is that the one with the long hair?
desu. Yeah,
Yes, that one was my favorite. That one
and she
specifically.
uses like the watering can as her weapon.
I found that one that girl I don't know her name, but like she was so funny just with her laugh. Ha ha ha! Like I am so much better than all of you.
Yeah, it was like it was a weird laugh, very
Yeah,
forced.
very forced. Oh gosh, but that's cool. So what? So Abby, what kind of like made you go into more serious like with your art in like in high school? What kind of pushed you to that?
Well, honestly, I was gonna go to art college, so I had an art teacher help me try to come up with like a portfolio because at the time what was happening was I was more, my style was more heavily inspired by anime, and to be honest, it was really mediocre. I mean, I don't know if anybody would say, I personally see it that way. It was very mediocre, my work still. And since I was teaching myself how to draw everything and just looking at what I can draw, it's still, pretty like not as up to par as I would like it to be. So she was helping me, draw real life, draw, all these things. I had worked on my portfolio. And to be honest, it really came down to art school being expensive. Like, I think the school I
Mm,
wanted to go to was like 200K. And I was like,
wow.
I can never afford that. That was like an upstate school. I forgot where it was, but I was like, damn, I can't afford that, and I didn't have any scholarships. I applied for grants, all that, but I didn't really
Hmm.
get anything. So I was just like, well, I don't think maybe college is not for me in general, and just working whatever. I moved recently to a new state, still getting used to it, but I'm still working on my art on the side
Hmm.
and just starting over, I guess. This is my first time being in a new place, so I'm just working from there, I guess you could say.
I mean, I was very impressed and very proud of you that you were able to get your own like exhibition and your own like what do you call it? Your own stand at like that place.
Mm.
Um which that is hard to do, to be honest. Like I know a lot of people at like the Comic Cons or the Anime NYC cons or whatever, all of that stuff. Like I think you
Mhm.
have to pay to rent the
Oh,
section.
yes. Yeah, you have to, depending on the convention that you're gonna, it's called the Artist Alley.
Hmm.
Depending, cause it depends on the price, depends on the table. You gotta pay for like certain things. I think like if you want some extra lighting, or you're gonna have to bring your own displays sometimes because they won't provide it for you. It all depends on the convention that you're going to. And sometimes it's a line. Like it's a line where you're gonna have to wait till next year to go because you waited too long. Like a lot of artists will apply, you know, on it this year, but they're not gonna be in the convention till next year.
Right. So how was that process of even getting your own like
They
section?
had they had actually emailed me.
Oh.
They had emailed me about it, and I was like, oh, I looked into it. I was like, okay, this seems cool, whatever. There was a few other artists. I actually, what was good about it was I actually had a good spot, to be honest with you. Like, it was a good spot where everybody could see me. I did a few sales. That was my first time doing all that. I actually
Ooh.
talked to a few people, made a few sales. It was a nice experience. It was different. Not like the typical convention. It was more like it was half a fashion show and then the paint and people with their displays of artwork. So it was like that. It wasn't like really a convention. So it was a little different, but it was a good experience. I mean, I
Was it
would
like
like
a
to. Mhm.
was it like a local event, or how did that work?
It was in the. Oh, what is that place called again? What is it called again? The Melrose Ballroom, I think it's called. It was in Queens, I believe.
Yeah.
It was in there in the ballroom.
But it was
So it
so weird
was.
because it was like a lot of music. It
Yes, it
was
was.
so
It was
loud.
It was music playing. It was kind of like a party, I guess you could say. Like I said, it was really not like a convention. There was drinks and everything.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
so I had so Abby did invite me to go see her exhibition and I had gone with a friend. And unfortunately my friend did not have his ID with him, so we weren't able to go into the exhibition and see it. Which I felt so bad and he felt so bad because we really wanted to go and see you um in your moment, and it didn't work out. I was so mad that day.
I
Was it like
know. I'm
18
so
plus or
sorry.
something?
It was
Yes,
more
the
like,
the show
yeah.
was 18. Like I think it was 21 plus because it was drinks. They had alcohol. They had bartenders and all that.
Oh, so it was a recent thing.
Yeah, this was in 2019 that it happened.
Hmm.
This was at nighttime too. Damn, I don't even remember what time we finished. I think we
Because I think
finished at
it
like
started at
10.
like 7.
Yeah, but I was there earlier than that setting up
Hmm.
because I had my own table. I brought in my own table and then I brought in like I put like fairy lights around my display and little roses and to complement the work I had going on. But there were so many different cool people. There was one girl who was painting someone who came with her, like I guess it was her friend, and she was painting artwork on the person live right there. I thought that was so cool.
Whoa. Oh, that would have been nice to see.
Yeah, there was a whole bunch of different people. I talked to the people next to me. I bought I just like looked at a few things. No, I thought I wanted to buy it, but I didn't get a chance to. The person next to me, she did photography and there was this one cool photo she had that she liked to do like it looked how do I explain it? It was like lonely. It felt like it felt lonely and somber. Like it just looked distant. Like it was specifically of a house that they
Mm.
told me afterwards that the house wasn't even there anymore after she took the picture.
Oh,
So
wow.
it was so cool, but I didn't get a chance to get the photo. So I was just like, damn, I missed my opportunity.
Did she like leave early, or you guys were just all so busy that by the time you guys realized it, it was time to go?
I think she left early because I wasn't feeling well after
Oh.
the end too, so I had to rush out of there too. So I couldn't really talk to people after we were done. So I just had to bounce and leave. But it was still fun though, the experience.
Well, that's good. I mean, it's an experience, especially that you were able to have your own table, your own section, and you get some exposure.
Yeah, it can get stressful to thank God my boyfriend was there because he was next to my table because sadly when it comes to these things you gotta watch your merchandise because someone
Hmm.
could just grab something whatever, and you gotta pay attention to it constantly. Like I was hardly having a break. Like I was just constantly watching my table. It can get stressful at times, and that was only for one day, so I can't even imagine the other artists who do the conventions for 3 days straight. Like it looks exhausting as hell.
I mean, with like, for example, when like Comic Con, like the tables are like so close to each other that like all you have to do is look forward. Um, because I know there are some conventions that like there's nobody behind you, so you even have to look behind you because you have like some of your products behind you or next to you, and you don't even realize it. But for like Comic Con, or Anime NYC, like the tables are so like squished together that like all you have to do is look forward.
Oh
Like
yeah,
there's
because I that's the only one I went to. I never went to Comic Con. I never had a chance. Those tickets sell out fast. I
oh
went
my
to
gosh.
the Anime NYC one, but that one I had a lot of fun with. I got a few like some stuff from the artist alley because that was one of the first places I went to because I was excited because I'd never been to a convention. That was my first one. And I even got to see I didn't even know what was happening. It was a Sailor Moon like little panel going on because it
Hmm.
was promoting the new movie that was coming out during the time. So I was excited about that and I just rushed in there with my little Sailor Moon tiara and everything.
And you start doing the opening in front of
Yes, they were
everyone.
singing and everything. It was I had fun. There were some of the voice actors there too, so I loved it.
I mean, going to cons is like an adrenaline rush for me. I don't know about you, Chris, because you have been going to a couple of the conventions too. For me, it's an adrenaline rush, but then after a while, like you're literally there for hours, and then out of nowhere, your feet start to hurt. I mean, I don't know if that happened to you, but it's happened to me a couple of times where like I can't even stand because of how much my feet are hurting.
I think my back hurts before my feet hurt, so it's just like a struggle.
Oh my
And
gosh.
it's just, I guess it's just draining because of all the people and the crowds and everything like that. So I don't even know how everything's going to work out for like this year because they had to cancel everything last year, but I don't know if they're still going to have cons this year.
I don't think so because the vaccine just came out and only a few people have priority to even get it. So I don't think it's happening this year either.
I've seen some people mentioning online about virtual conventions because there's been like virtual lives going on and everything. I think
Mhm.
people are trying to work around making virtual conventions. I don't know how that's gonna work out, but I mean, it seems cool for what we're dealing with right now. A lot of things have changed because of the pandemic.
Yeah, I know that they did some of the virtual stuff in the 2020 conventions, but only the panels. Like literally any of the panels were just virtual. Like you can't do merch, you can't go to the artist gallery, they can't do any of that. It's literally just the panels. I mean, it's cool for like those who actually like seeing panels, but for me, I go to panels one if it's interesting, and two if I need a break from the walking and the buying and all the crowds. So going to a panel kind of just you just sit there for an hour and you listen and you kind of get your energy back before you go back outside into the war zone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get to get off your feet for a bit and I guess save your wallet for a bit.
I mean, yeah, because there's nowhere to sit. Like literally, people will be on the side, just laying there next to the bathroom. They're just dead.
Oh, wow. I mean, y'all more veterans than I am because I've only went to like one. But what we did was we went there early, like before anybody else was gonna be there. We made sure we ate and we was
Oh.
just sitting in like because it was at the Javits Center. So
Hmm.
there's like, that little park area when you walk a little down where you can sit down. There's some benches. We sat there for a little. Then we went inside, we sat down, waited until the line started going, and we was able to walk. We mainly saw everything, and we left like an hour early because we went through everything. And by the time then, it was so crowded.
Oh my gosh. Did you get the VIP tickets or was it regular tickets?
Oh crap! I don't remember. I actually don't remember now.
Because I know
Damn.
the VIP tickets, you can go in an hour before like the regular ticket holders,
Mhm.
and like since it's so few of them, they literally have the whole floor to themselves.
Oh no no no! I don't think so then, because I was in a line when I went with people, but no, I don't think so. It was cool. Like they gave us some mangas and everything. Like some of them were handing out just mangas for us to have. We had a whole like we had backpacks. My backpack was getting stuffed. Like I was just like I have so much stuff going on in my bag. I can't fit any more things.
Oh gosh, I think backpacks are like one of the worst things to bring with you. You would need like the big tote bags, like those huge ones. Like for me, I had one that literally was no, 2/3 of my body. And I'm
Oh
just
damn.
walking around with this big tote bag and like six statues in it. And I'm just there like, oh gosh, just dragging myself everywhere.
All I had was the drawstring bag that they gave us. So I was just trying to work with that.
Oh my gosh, drawstrings are horrible because you can't even fit like boxes in there.
I was just trying to stuff the posters and all this stuff and just like
Oh
just
my
trying to
gosh.
get it all in there.
That's horrible. Oh my
I feel
gosh.
like suitcases might be a good idea,
Just bring a whole suitcase.
Might as well just here you go. I'm buying that, that, and that. Put it in here. That's it.
especially since you can roll it and you don't have to carry it the whole time.
Yeah, but you know how weird that would be? Literally just people watching you with a
Well,
freaking.
but it's not even that. People are gonna trip over it because
Yeah, that
everybody's
too.
on top of each other. Everybody's just gonna fall.
See, I would say you can do that at an Anime NYC a little bit more because it's not as packed. You try doing that at a Comic Con, oh boy, you're gonna get a whole riot because that is like double the size of Anime NYC.
I can't imagine because I've never went to Comic Con. Like I said, it's so hard to get into it because so many people buy the tickets mad fast, and then you look and you're like, damn, I didn't even get to look. I couldn't even see when the tickets were on. They already gone.
Yeah, because they're usually, I think they're usually available in March,
Yeah, they're
and you have
months
to,
ahead.
yeah, and you have to be on that queue. Like you literally need to log in, and then you are put into a queue. If you get through, then you can like purchase tickets.
So that's the thing too. I can't even imagine when artists are gonna be at Comic Con unless they're invited. I think that's how it works. But if you're not invited and you're applying for, and it's like I can't imagine the wait time for that.
I think that's why it's a lot easier for
Are you
like
planning to be at any other conventions?
I don't know, to be honest. I don't think so at the moment because after it was a nice experience, like I said, but it was it's not for everybody. It might not be for me. It was cool. I would like to go see other conventions, but it's up in the air right now if I'll do one in the future.
so you'll just stick more into the commission stuff, right?
Probably commissions, online store, just working on things like that. I still
Have you
gotta
ever
open up my commissions and put more examples up too. I've been
yeah.
procrastinating. I need to get on that.
Have you thought about doing any animations?
I've been wanting to do little ones here and there because I used to mess with it, drawing like hand drawing or drawing them in my programs because I use Clip Studio and
Mhm.
it supports animation. Haven't messed with it yet. I've been wanting to do little ones, but animation is very time consuming. Just for like, if you ever see those ones that are like a few seconds long, you're like, damn, you want more, but it takes a lot. Like I give props to animators because it takes so much work to like just animate a few seconds. It's a lot.
I mean, like just the YouTuber, the animators that are YouTubers who make like what, an 8-minute video. It takes them a whole month
Yeah, it
to
takes
do.
some. That's why you don't see when it comes to animation channels, they don't upload that often because it takes them so long to just upload one animation, especially if they're doing it by themselves. It's gonna take them a while.
But it ends up being so good. Like for example, maybe like like the odd ones out, something else YT and Jaden Animations. Like when they first started, like it was good. I mean, for me, it was amazing just because I can't draw for crap. But like just seeing what they can do in a month by themselves is like wow. And they usually criticize themselves a lot, so they end up like hiring other people to help them. It still takes them a month, but they can do a longer video. And I'm just fascinated. I'm like, okay, like I like your new stuff, but the old stuff was also really well done. Even if like the mic doesn't sound great, because every like even if your drawings improve, your equipment also has to improve as well.
It's a lot. It's I see how much it I understand the frustrations, but the frustrations of animation I feel like is on another level, you know? Like
Oh my
it's just a
god,
lot.
especially those fight scenes like from shonen anime.
Mm.
Like
But it's they have a team though, so the thing with that too is the at least they got a team going on. The people who just do like the animations by themselves, I feel like it's even more like stressful because it's just you don't got someone who's gonna edit the layers, you don't got someone who's gonna take the
mhm,
sketches into line work, then to coloring and all this and shading. That's
right.
all you doing it, so it's a lot.
Yeah, like I know in Japan, and I don't know, Chris, if you have any more to say, like or add on to what I'm gonna say right now. But like in Japan, those who are manga artists are overworked and underpaid, and they just work with like two other people completing a whole manga with the shading, coloring, and even the drawing on their own. Like I've manga, like people who can make manga are really talented, but the fact that they're overworked and underpaid is crazy to me.
Yeah, I mean, since people need to do that for their living and they still get um what do you call it? Taken advantage of by the companies because they know that they have to do this work. So they do like the 12, 14-hour days every day, even weekends, and they produce the content that the publishers want and get paid a pittance, and that's that. And they have to start a new one. So
Right.
it just seems like there's just enough artists for there to be enough content to be produced. So I don't know if that's just like a problem of supply and demand or if it's like an underlying issue of just like the profession itself is considered to be a low paying job regardless of whether they have enough artists or not.
I feel like it depends on like the anime slash manga you even do in the first place. Because I know for like Masashi Kishimoto, the person who created Naruto, once Naruto hit big with like the first couple of mangas, he was able to get a bigger team, which then made the workload. not that bad. But like for smaller mangas out there, like you're still working either by yourself with one other person, and that is just a whole stress. And that's like with you not even like making it yet, like you're literally proposing a manga to a company, and then for it to get rejected or approved is another step.
Right, but like even say Dragon Ball Z, of I guess a popular story or whatever is that like the manga creator had like his whole design and he was trying to figure out how he wanted Goku to be a Super Saiyan,
Mm-hmm.
and like his assistant was thankful that Goku's hair turned blonde, so we didn't have to shave Goku's hair in like every panel once he became Super Saiyan.
Oh my
So it was like
gosh.
less work overall because he was blonde.
So is that why Goku is blonde? Is that why Naruto's blonde? Is that why all of these similar color schemes from like the main characters?
Main characters usually have lighter hair, I think.
I think so. Okay, let's think about it. Naruto's blonde. Goku is straight up black hair, so that is super easy to do.
I mean,
Um,
Ichigo has orange, so I guess you could categorize that as not having to ink that hair either, I guess, from bleach.
Well, like in
yeah,
the manga itself, it's not filled in at all, right? His
yeah.
hair.
I don't think so.
No, it's just like lines here and there to like kind of separate like some of the strands. But like Goku's completely inked in, but it's literally just black. Naruto isn't inked in. If you think about Light Yagami, it's not inked in. Or Code Geass, yes, because Lelouch's hair is black. Like it's usually like black or white, but like then you have the mangas that are all full color.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Those I think are usually done with I think they're either done with like either Copics or watercolors or color pencils. I think those are the main mediums they use to like color them. But what does help the process a little more is the screen tones, because what you do when you're drawing a page is you put the screen tone onto the paper, like if you want to put a pattern, and you just cut it out with like an X-Acto knife, and then it's basically you're just putting that piece
Mm.
there. So that helps a little bit, you know?
Right, right, right. That's interesting. Okay.
Like, how did they do Yugi's hair? Because it's
Oh,
like some
Yugi.
of it's colored in. It has different designs. It seems like it's a big hassle to do.
See, that's the thing. I have Yu-Gi-Oh manga, and I don't think I've opened maybe one of them, but I don't remember how they did it. Like in black and white, I think they color in a few of like from like
Well,
just an outline to black.
base of his hair is black, and then everything around it is probably not even colored in, but it's still
Probably.
like you have to draw the pattern of the hair.
I've never seen it. Let me look it up real quick because I've never seen how it looks in the manga, so I'm gonna have to see how it's done. I don't know if I'll be able to tell you what I think it is, but I'm gonna check to see what it looks like.
Yeah, but I also like
But
it's
is it in color, the manga, or is it
no,
oh,
Well, there's
okay.
it's
they
black
have
and
like
white
they had like one chapter or whatever in the volume where they did it in color. I think sometimes they do that for manga when they
sometimes.
create like an omnibus or like a collection of volumes.
Which I also find interesting because some manga have like maybe one or two pages, not even a chapter, literally just one or two pages where the first opening scenes is in color and then the rest is like black and white.
Oh, I see what you're talking about with the hair for him. That yeah, I see the shades of gray and black. I mean, I'm
Seems
pretty
really
sure.
complicated.
I mean, I'm looking at. I think they're using some screen tones for the gray area, and then not coloring it in from the front, and then the black area is just inked, or it could be a screen tone, just a black screen tone. So, I mean, it's a little much. I'm pretty sure it's a little bit more work, but I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's how they did his hair for it. But to do that constantly, it sounds like, tedious.
Mm-hmm. I mean, have you ever seen any anime? Like, I mean, it's mostly for like adult anime or high school animes where like you have these characters doing manga. Like the first one that pops into my head is like School Rumble, which is like a slice of life slash comedies rom com. anime, and like the main guy protagonist, he is like a manga artist, like as his double life, because he's supposed to be this like really big and badass like scary dude, but like at home he's like, I like all of this manga. I like drawing manga. And then like he does end up proposing his manga to like a company and they end up accepting it. But like just seeing his process, like even in the anime, just seeing his process and going through like deadlines, getting these filled in and completing the manga on time. Like he ends up having to well, the his crush's sister ends up um like volunteering and helping him kind of fill out the ink parts, which is cool. I like seeing those types of anime.
Oh yeah, I remember reading School Rumble a few years back. I don't think I finished it, but I read majority of the manga and I watched the anime, but for some reason for either one, the manga and the anime, I never finished it. I liked it though,
It's
but
good
it was it's nice that he had at least an assistant and
for
him
free.
doing yeah, to help him with everything and him working on I can imagine that probably is very relatable to a lot of manga artists doing all that trying to get hit the deadlines and they still have a million other things they have to do in their life in general.
Yeah, there was another anime, and I'm like trying to remember that the main character was a manga artist, and like I remember clearly he has short, like I guess bluish black hair with glasses, and his first manga that he proposes to a company got rejected. They were like, "You need more feeling." I think I might be wrong. Do you guys know the anime Erased?
Yes, but I think I know which one you're talking about specifically and I'm trying to remember the name. I think it starts with a B. I'm
Ooh,
trying to remember because my friend had suggested this anime to me years ago, but I never watched it. But apparently, a lot of people said that it's with that anime, it really shows like what it is to be, a mangaka and just the whole process. But I'm trying to, I swear, it starts with a B, and I can't remember what it's called at the moment.
I
yeah,
think there's
me.
like a recent anime that's more like on the comedy side of things for that.
What's it
I don't
called?
know. Uh, I mean, in the title, there was talking about like uh, I don't know. I just know that there is a recent anime where there was like a mangaka and it was like some sort of comedy slice of life deal with that.
See, I like the type of like those type of animes where it kind of moves away from like all the shonen, all like the romance and stuff. Like it moves on to like more uh real life situations. You know what I mean? Like the manga industry in Japan is really huge, so I do like seeing characters like anime being like the characters trying to be successful manga artists as well. Those are really good to watch.
I mean, it's also fun to watch like Nichijou where
Oh my gosh,
they
Nichijou.
they did do like the mangaka scene, but basically Mai was sabotaging the entire operation for Mio. And I think Yuko also messed everything up, so
See, that like slice of life is good depending on the situation, because like Nichijou has like the robot character that's not really what do you call it, real life. You know what I mean? Like it's
I
still
mean, there's
slice of
also a
life, but
talking cat, so I don't know.
you're right about that.
Little Sakamoto, I loved him.
I forgot the names of all of them. Wow.
I remember Sakamoto because the little girl just kept saying his name constantly. The little scientist.
Hakase, which I believe just means professor, so that's what her name was though.
What's
But
another
like
anime?
I don't
Sorry,
know.
keep
It
going.
seems like you can get like the normal, I guess, real life experiences in anime, and but it doesn't seem like there's that many of them. So I was
Like,
wondering, like, is it just because fantasy is easier to do or more popular, or people just don't want to think about real life?
I think it has to do maybe a little bit with that, and I think it also has to do with the audience in the industry. You know, because I'm pretty sure a lot in the anime industry they're more focused on teenagers, especially like teenage boys and teenage girls, because they put like shonen and then they put like magical girl stuff. But I've noticed they're trying to make more animes that are more for working class, like working age or people who coming out of college, but I think it'll always focus more on teenagers just because they have more time to like watch the shows or get the mangas. Adults are a little more busy. We don't have as much time to be watching the things, but I see that they are coming out with a little bit more stuff here and there.
Like I can agree that like us adults we have more like a busier lifestyle. Like I know that I used to put a lot more time and effort into reading manga and watching animes when I was younger. But even then, like a lot of the new animes that are coming out, like what is it called? My Hero Academia or like even Attack on Titan, like these are all like action animes that are being the most popular. So it's nice to have like the contrast of like having a normal day, like, oh, okay, let me see this normal life of another person, like a more laid back, even if it's like a slice of life comedy, or if it's a serious like um anime talking about the struggles of their own workplace. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was watching. I need to finish. I think it's called Watakoi, and it's about these two, this guy and this girl, and they are both. I can't remember she was, but I no 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 yeah they're all like otakus is what they call themselves.
Hmm.
Some people don't like being called that, whatever the case. I think that's how they said that's what the show is basically called. It's something, I think, Can Otakus Fall in Love in English. I think that's what it's called. So the main character and there's two main characters, guy and the girl. They start dating, and it's not they don't make what I like about it is they're in a working office. They're adults already, and it's not like they're not making everything dramatic. Like they're not, the scenes of them someone pushes into someone and they kiss them or something like this. It's not like that. They show things how it would be in a relationship, taking things slow. And I guess I like that whole more realistic approach to it.
Yeah. No, I do too. Like so like how in Japan there's like Go players and shogi players, and like they go through this these competitions, and like how it's like how we have here like chess competitions and stuff, like those types of animes I do like, where it's literally like going through somebody's professional life, and like even if it's like not even like adults in the anime, but like based on more like kids or like these prodigies, because there are prodigies, and of course it's like the typical, oh, this kid is smart, right? What's the Hikaru no Go is the anime slash manga where like Hikaru, um, he really didn't start like much of a Go player, but he learns quick, um, and then ends up falling in love with the game. And this Akira, which I think is the rival, he is been playing Go for his whole life, and he's like, well, I've been winning all of these competitions, which is normal because there are people in real life that have been practicing all their lives just for another person who's been literally learned this in like a year, who's almost at the same level as they are. So I like animes like that where it's like not too overwhelming and laid back.
Right. So not something like exaggerated or something that you really wouldn't be able to experience in real life if it's something that would have happened to you. Like you were in a chess club and then you started going to chess competitions. You would experience like that same type of thing as like in Hikaru no Go.
Yeah. Like if they had like an actual anime, I mean, I don't know because like I'm living under a rock and I don't really know much many animes and mangas out there, but is there like an anime slash manga that has to do with like the life of a teacher? Because I know a lot of slice of life, like the teacher is like the comedic part of it, but like teaching, like for me, like I would be able to relate to something like that, and I would like to be able to watch something to relate to like a character, right? Because like me and Sasuke, we have nothing in common, right? Or like me and Light Yagami, like what's there to be common about if there's like supernatural stuff happening, you know?
Right. There's
It's nice
probably
to.
something like that out there, but I don't I don't think that genre is very popular because it's just like a
That's
sad
so sad.
story. It's a sad story though, being a teacher.
Oh gosh, you tell me about it. I mean, like there's more animes and mangas that relate more to like, drawing and like be manga artists, like things that you can be more familiar with, Abby. But like for example, working at a desk or teaching a job, like teaching students isn't really a big thing. I think it's whatever that people would like the demand on some like topics.
Yeah, I do think it also, like, I mentioned before, it's the whole audience thing. But I like, Kitty Gaming said, I do think there might be something out there. It's just you gotta look through it. It's a big whole, it's a big thing out there. You gotta look for it. Hopefully you find something. Maybe someone on one of the people who are listening could maybe find something, or maybe they know something they can tell you guys about it, and you can find something new to read.
Yeah, so if you find something that can relate to, I mean, I don't know. For me, I would like recommendations, so leave it in the comments below if you're watching this on YouTube. I would highly appreciate it.
But like even not just like normal life stuff, there's also other serious anime that deal with like um I guess depressing circumstances. Like I know you've shown me that movie where there was like the personal experience of the woman in Hiroshima when the bombs came.
Oh
I
my
don't remember what
gosh.
that was called.
It's in this corner of the world.
Uh-huh.
I
So
love
like that's
that
something
movie.
super serious and I mean sometimes lighthearted, but like it's meant for like a more mature audience.
See, I love movies like that, like in this corner of the world, or what's another one?
I mean there's also Grave of the Fireflies.
Yeah, Grave of the Fireflies is another one. And those movies were made to send a message because a lot of Japanese people were not in agreement to what was going on. And that's why they made those movies to kind of warn people like, listen, this isn't just because of our Japanese pride. Like the Japanese pride could go somewhere. It's affecting kids that like literally cannot fend for themselves. And like then we put this pressure on our own people that we need to keep this pride. We rather die than give up, right? Because that's the pride of the country. But you don't see that a lot of these kids that you don't even hear the voices of in real life, they're suffering too. They're not understanding what's going on. Or like in this corner of the world, um the girl, she grew up in the wartime and she ends up like feeling angry with herself because like Japan gave up. They surrendered and she's like, "Well, I have one arm and two legs. I can go and fight myself. Like why did we give up so easily?" And it's like these questioning, like this questionable stuff, like these harsh topics to talk about, and those are really good to think about. Like those types of like movies and anime are good to just look at because those have like harsh lessons.
Right. So like it's not something that you would be able to experience today, but it is something that people did experience back then or like just something similar where they had to deal with their own family during the wartime and like bombings and all that. Like even if it's not an exact experience that's replicatable, it's still something that has happened to people and I guess that's sort of like the same idea of reality.
I think
Also, like,
also. Oh, I'm sorry. Go
oh no, no,
ahead.
you keep going. You go, you go.
No, I was gonna mention that I noticed too also when it comes to more animes and shows in general, mental health is becoming more of a topic also. I don't know if you guys saw that movie, A Silent Voice, I believe it's called. I don't know
I
how you
think I
guys felt
have.
about the movie. I cried for that movie. Like I was just like, it deals with struggling with depression and you know, having bad thoughts and those type of things. I don't know if I should say those type of things, on here, especially if it's going to be on YouTube. But I think everybody gets what I'm trying to say. But I do see more of mental health being discussed, which I think is good too, especially when if teenagers are going to be seeing these things because they do struggle a lot too, and there's hormones, there's a lot going on, and then the pressure of school, especially now with social media. I can't imagine, how it is now. Excuse me. Because when I was in high school, I didn't even get to have my phone. Like they would make us lock up our phones. So I can't imagine the pressure you feel with social media, how big it is now in high school, and who has this many followers, and who's getting this much likes, and who's showing off all this stuff, or I heard this person's doing that. I can't imagine all that pressure they're dealing with. So I guess I'm glad that more shows and more, hopefully, I'll see more animes, talk about more of people dealing with mental health because it's a real thing and a lot of people in this world deal with it.
I mean, I'm glad you mentioned the social media stuff. Like, I don't forget when this anime was created, but I don't know if you seen Serial Experiments Lane.
I've heard of it and I've never seen it. I've heard of it so many times though.
Me and Chris talked about it in another episode of the podcast, but that's like, it was way ahead of its time. It talks about like social media and how the internet can impact one's life, like to an extreme. And back then it wasn't that big of a deal because what was the internet back then? Like, what was social media? It wasn't that big or important. Like for us in elementary school, it wasn't that big. But that anime was made so long ago that it relates to what's going on now. Like, Chris, do you want to like kind of explain a little bit about serial experiment lane?
Uh, well, the thing is, I haven't really watched it. I think I saw like an episode or two, and I don't really remember it.
Okay, so it's like Lane is like a girl who's like, she's kind of like antisocial a little bit. She just is like a normal person in like the real world, but the second she falls into the online world, she becomes a whole completely different person. Like, you can basically be whoever you want online and no one's really going to question you, right? And that's like the when do you realize that your online life is going to start taking over your real life, is basically what the anime is kind of going off. So like, when do you start even noticing the differences anymore?
Right, like when you start losing yourself in the virtual world because it's not as stressful, or you created a persona for yourself that you like more than you like yourself in real life. So you sort of like want to be lost in that world.
Which again, like I said, it was way ahead of its time. Like now, a lot of people are literally changing their own self to continue keeping up with the character they made up online. Like there's a lot of YouTubers who are definitely not that way in real life, but because they want to be liked and because they want to be somebody that they can't really be in real life, they create this character, and then at over time that character ends up eating them in like the
Oh, I
actual real
think we
life.
lost her audio.
Oh, you kind of went out for like a second.
Hello, are you
Yeah,
still here?
yeah,
Yeah,
Well, I think you went out.
I
I
c-
went
You're,
out.
it was Tomoya. I couldn't hear. It was
Oh
gone. I was
no,
like, oh, did it
I
stop?
left. Oh my
yeah,
gosh,
audio
I died
difficulties
out.
again.
Oh
So I
no,
think as long as you can upload your audio on the website, it should be okay. Oh, she's disconnected.
I think I went out again.
Yeah, I think your Wi-Fi just started crying.
It cried. It's like you're being mean about me, and you're talking trash to me. Yes, internet, you are the reason why people are, I mean, could you really blame the
And I
internet for
didn't want to
that
hear
though?
it. It just said nope.
Nope. But can
Yeah,
you really blame
so
the internet
looks
for?
like we might need
Oh
to
no. Can you
cannot
guys
hear
hear me?
you, but the audio is still going to go through on the recording, but we can't hear you.
Oh no. That's so bad. Ah! Why are we
The
having
internet
technical
was not
difficulties
trying to
now?
hear you badmouth.
It's because you're on
You
Wi-Fi
are right. You know, try something. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
right now. Just
Yeah,
keep
okay.
talking, and then we'll let you know when we can't hear you.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, can you really blame the internet though for people changing themselves?
Uh, I mean, I don't think so. The internet is made by people. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, the internet is what you make of it, is how I see it anyway. But it does have a big influence on what you do.
Right, but
Yeah,
like everything you do on the internet is your choice, and
Yeah.
anything that you feel like you're pressured into doing is just because of the people that are also using the internet. Like, oh, you want to fit into your group of friends or whatever, or like uh, they were telling you that if you don't do this, then you won't be in the group anymore. It's just another platform for cliques to form and for people to be mean to each other. And
yeah.
like, being anonymous gives you, I guess, an easier way to be mean to people. So we just have to work hard to be nice to each other.
I mean, it works either way. Like, there are pros and cons to having the internet. Like, you can explore so much more. Like, especially now during this COVID situation, this pandemic. Like, we kind of do need the internet for basically everything, and just to even stay sane. You know what I mean? So we could use it for good, but like when, because of that anime, like Serial Experimental Lane, like the second you let the internet take over your life, that's when things are bad.
Yeah. So like, I don't know if it was like a commentary on what was happening to some people at that time, or if it was like a prediction of what might happen if social media and the internet becomes more common and more advanced. Like, I
I've
don't
heard a
know if
lot of
they touched on that or if that was just something that you could glean from what was happening.
I've heard a lot of discussion about the anime too. A lot of people were saying cuz again, it the internet was just being kind of either being born or like in during that time the anime was created. They predict that it's more of a of a prediction of what was going to happen later on. It was more like a this is a warning. Um if we don't use the internet or social media correctly, this may happen, right? And the thing is, in general,
It aired in 1998, so yeah, that was near the beginning of internet and like people using the internet for communication with each other.
right? So like, the internet was like a new thing, and a lot of people found it a little bit scary. And when that anime came out, it literally was like even before any of the stuff that they were talking about in the anime, it didn't even happen yet. So like it seems more like it was a prediction of where this would go, and that's what's actually happening nowadays. You know,
Right.
and the anime, like back then when I first saw it, I didn't understand a word they were talking about, or I didn't understand the minor details of that anime because, well, one, like we said before, you need to be a certain intelligence to even sit there and just be there to understand that anime, and you can't just watch it once. You have to watch it multiple times because there's a lot of things that you probably missed.
Right.
But it's so complex that once you watch it a couple of times and then you start understanding what the message is from that anime, you realize one, it was way ahead of its time, and two, this is actually happening now.
Right. So I guess something I've mentioned before is Ergo Proxy, which has like similar vibes to it. I believe I had said before that they were like the same anime by the same studio. I don't know if that's true, but essentially Ergo Proxy is about um like robots becoming self-aware. Uh
Which is
so
what we
like
have now.
and that commits and so like they start committing crimes and stuff. So like it's dealing with like that sort of idea, which is also similar to Ghost in the Shell. But those Ghost in the Shell is like a more broad topic of like cyber crimes in general,
Hmm.
and but like it also deals with like existential crisis, like am I real? Like, am I human? Am I not alive just because I have robot parts? Like, at what point do I become human? What part do I become a living being? And like, what rights do I have as a robot or as an android or even as a human, like compared to others?
Have you guys seen that one robot that wants to have her own family?
I don't think so.
Yeah, so
Or
there
like in real life?
yeah,
Or
like literally. They
like
Oh,
made they
in
made a
Japan?
robot. I don't know which country made it, but there is a robot that literally is self-aware and she decided she wants her own family. That she
wow.
deserves to have the rights to have her own kids.
I
And
feel
I'm
like
like,
that would be something that's more prevalent in the news if that was happening.
"Oh no, it
Is this a
was."
recent thing?
No, no, no. I think it was like a year and a half ago.
And there hasn't been updates?
Mm-mm. I mean, I don't know. I just
They
know that
probably unplugged her or something.
Oh man.
probably. Because once I heard that, I was like, ooh, wait a minute. This kind of reminds me of Terminator and Skynet being self aware and realizing that humans are a problem, right? And we all about to die.
I
So
mean, the whole deal with Skynet was that it was a military computer system,
to
and they were
stop threats.
right, and they were using it to identify and like negate threats, but they gave it the ability to, uh, I guess, come to its own conclusions, which led it to see that humans were the virus.
Yeah, no, definitely. But like another thing that in especially in Terminator 2, when John reprograms Arnold's CPU to where like he can now learn things cuz he was sent back with this is your mission, you either complete it or you don't, right? And when he reprogrammed his CPU,
Wasn't it because of like an inhibitor chip, or
yeah,
I forget
so
what it
then
was?
so he had to restart it and like then he was able to still complete with his mission because his mission was still main priority, but then he was able to start learning feelings,
Right.
which I don't know.
But I
Ali, have you
guess that
seen
still took
Terminator?
that that still took him a long time to figure out because, like, even in Terminator Genesis, when he's old, he still doesn't, I guess, figure out everything about humans yet.
Oh man, I'm so lost.
Oh, you haven't seen Terminator?
I've never seen Terminator. There's so many I know. My boyfriend had the
Oh,
same reaction. He was like, "You never seen Terminator?" I was like, "No, I've never." You know,
oh
there's
my
just
gosh.
certain movies you never seen when you was young. So when other people be like, "How you never seen that?" But then there's a movie you watch and then they tell you they haven't seen. You're like, "How did you not see it?" You know what I mean? It's just one of those
See,
movies I haven't seen.
there is some movies where I can understand why people don't watch it, but like Terminator is
I
like
never
one.
seen it.
It was also ahead of its own time, like, that's why it was a big success because it was, like, ahead of its time, like, we like, that movie came out in, like, 1989 or something like that.
I thought it was
That was
84 for the first one.
84 or something, yeah, something like that. It was way before the internet even started to become a thing, so imagine people were already thinking we're going to get robots, and if like these cyborgs, we have Skynet, this defense computer that's supposed to stop viruses to from attacking us. But imagine how far humans are going to go to where they can't even control the own thing they produce. Because in Terminator 2, he finally understands humans' feelings, but he can never do the actual feelings. Like, he understands he wants to cry, he understands what crying is, but physically, he can't do it. Like, he's now self aware that I feel happy, I feel sad, I feel scared, I feel this is the adrenaline, which he doesn't have, but he feels it. And then Skynet realizes humans are the worst virus. It's the worst virus. We need to destroy humans. And then the human race was unable to stop Skynet once it was self aware. That was
I
like the main basis of that movie.
but I feel so bad for the robot that she she wanted a family. Like she wasn't even like, oh, I want, I want to go and just start doing a whole. I want to go and just blow stuff up. She's just like, I want a family. Like
But
I
there was
feel
another
so
one.
bad.
There was another robot that wanted the citizenship.
Wow, that's what. No, you know what this reminds me of? You ever
What?
heard of Detroit Become Human, the game?
Yeah.
I've heard of it.
I played it. I have the game, and it reminds me a lot. Listen, okay, so in Detroit Become Human, the androids basically are treated like property, and people just treat them like crap. They abuse them, use them for sex work, all that
What?
stuff. And the robots, they start wanting to be like, no, I'm getting feelings. I'm starting to feel things. I don't want to be treated like property anymore. It becomes like a whole revolution and everything, depending on what your choices are in the game. It ends up being a war. It's just because they want citizenship and everything, and they want to be seen as people as well.
But isn't that crazy that all of these things they feel like warnings to me? And that's scary because the technology that like every country, like not only the United States but Japan and China, all of these countries are trying to do more and more like and to beat the other countries. And now we have freaking robots who wants a fucking family. Like these robots are now getting to be self-aware. How far can we go when it's too late? You know?
I mean, I don't think humanity is going to stop. That's like the whole point. Like they just keep advancing things and want to see what the next step can be. And regardless if you have all these warnings, all these movies, books, even like academic papers regarding these topics, like people are still gonna try to create the next generation that will mess everything up.
Oh, that is scary to me. Like I like the thing with the Matrix, for example, like are we living an actual life or are we being manipulated to think that this is the life we're actually living, right? That is like I don't believe too much. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I want to believe that because I believe in God. God gave me this life and I managed my own life, whether I end up having consequences or I end up getting rewarded at the end, you know? But knowing that we are hungry for this selfishness, because it's literally all selfishness at the end of the day. We want to be better than the next. So we keep pushing and pushing and pushing until what's the end result? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you can just take a look at like Jurassic Park. Like obviously the scientists were thinking about what they could do without thinking about if they should do it. Basically, paraphrasing Malcolm Ian or Ian Malcolm's words from the movie. Uh, but like basically, they were trying to see if they could revive and resurrect the dinosaurs without thinking uh,
The
like
consequences.
of the consequences of how something that lived hundreds of millions of years ago is going to even interact with how the world is now. And do you have the proper precautions? Are you making sure that there's no like basically dangerous threats? Like I mean, like a popular or like a relevant topic is also uh like the atom smashing and particle accelerators. Like when the scientists created the CERN lab, where they have like the 20-mile long circular tube where they can accelerate particles and basically do more than they've ever done before. And people were worried that we create like a singularity or like a big bang or a black hole. Like people were wondering, like, is this it? Is this the end of humanity? Are have scientists gone too far?
Mm-hmm. That's
I think.
exactly.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I'm like that. I was gonna say that was exactly what I was thinking, but yeah, that was all I was gonna say.
No, because I was gonna say, a lot of this stuff also really is just curiosity. Like everybody's just like, can I do this? How would I do this? And if I'm gonna go ahead and do it. You know what I mean?
I want to
Like,
be the first one to do it. I want the
yeah.
recognition. I want the fame and fortune that comes with doing this for the first time.
See, curiosity isn't a bad thing. Like for
Curiosity killed
example,
the cat.
well, yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. Like curiosity isn't bad if you know you're where you need to stop, right? Like, okay, I know that if I go further, it will end up being a bad thing instead of being a good thing, right?
Yeah,
Because there's always a limit to everything. When you go and are become you're curious about something, where then it starts to change your thoughts to now it's selfishness to now gotta push, like I see the limit and I want to go beyond that.
right. Become greedy. Like, I deserve this information. That's why I'm looking for it.
Mm-hmm. Like that's crazy to me. Like, yeah, I'm curious about how to learn another language, for example, but to be like, I'm gonna use this to manipulate people, like that's wild to me. Or like, I'm going to build a robot who help the family clean the house. But let me give it a brain too. Like giving it a brain is already a big no, you know? Because you know, once the second you give it way too much power, then how family friendly is this robot?
Right. I think that was also something similar, like in Chobits. I believe they were robots, but like basically, there was like I guess a switch or something that you could flip in order for them to become sentient. So like there was that idea of whether they would be normal, like just like a robot used for chores, or if they're gonna be someone that has a mind, has thoughts, and like isn't just a tool, I
Oh yeah,
guess.
because they involved like relationships in the anime. Because that was one of the first animes I saw when I was a kid. Because the doesn't the guy like kind of fall in love with the Chobit and everything? I think that's what
I think
it.
her name was Chi.
Yes, her. That's what she called herself, but I think that that wasn't her real name. But I don't
Right,
want to give spoilers to anybody who might have still not seen it. But it was, yeah, I think it had more to do with relationships because it wasn't just his, it was other people when it came to their Chobits or their androids. There was relationships involved.
right. I don't remember the exact details, but I believe there was. I guess there were different settings on whether you wanted them to actually think or not. It was a
I
while ago, so I don't remember, but that's what I remember.
I don't know that the anime. I This one I'm actually in like zero knowledge.
Oh, this one was a old one as well. Like I said, I watched this. This was like one of the first animes I seen as a kid, so it was pretty
As a
older.
kid, I don't think it's really for kids.
Well, I mean, hey, listen, I had the internet, so I was watching it. What? Let me see. You know what? Let me look up what year this came out. Cause I watched this. I didn't have a computer in my house till like 2007, I believe.
hmm
So let me see when this anime came out.
Abby is the exception to that rule, Chris. Chris, she can watch anything when she's 5.
No,
I
I don't know.
guess so.
Not about 5, but let me see.
Because
No,
like,
so I must have watched this if I had my computer in 2007. It says this came out in 2002. So
Oh.
I probably watched this when I was like 12, this anime.
uh huh.
So I might be giving my age away or something. But yeah. It's yeah, I think I watched that when I was like 12. I mean, obviously I didn't really get everything that was going on during that time, but like I said, it's pretty old. It's 2002 this anime.
I mean, if you were to rewatch it now, then I think you would get a lot of the other things that like kind of went over your head when you were a kid.
Yeah.
Just saying. I love how the topic went from adult anime to let's see how the world is going to end.
I mean, we can talk about anime again, like Elfen Lied. That's an anime for
Oh
adults.
my
Oh
gosh.
yeah. I actually did not see that one as an adult. I saw
Another
that one as a
5-year-old Abby watching anime she's not supposed to be watching.
I watched that anime when I should not have been I was watching. No, I was watching a lot of gory anime during that time, like Higurashi. They just remade it again. I've been watching
Love
the episodes.
Higurashi.
That one gave me nightmares, like watching that for the first time when I was a kid, because it really messes with your head. You don't know what's going on, and then there's way more going on, and then you realize too, like it's not what it seems like. There's just a lot.
But Higurashi is that anime that like. It took me forever to figure out what was the whole point, because they tell you that it starts off with a curse of the festival, whatever it is. Um, and like literally each episode, the characters are dying, but then they restart again, and that always confused me.
And especially too, if you read the manga, it goes more into depth about things. I mean, usually manga a lot of the times does, but it definitely goes into more depth. And especially now, if you watch the new one, it's not exactly the same. If you have watched Higurashi, I would suggest watching it because it's not the same. Like it actually is gonna, it's continuing from what you know so far already.
My gosh, because I've seen Higurashi, and then Higurashi no Kara, and then there was a third season that barely anybody knows about.
Yeah, I've seen all of them. I
I've
was like,
seen too.
I've seen
Oh,
all of it. I've read most of the manga. I've, been all into it.
yeah, I think I was probably like 12 once I got into, no, maybe 11 when I got into anime, and it wasn't until like I was 12 when I actually saw Elfen Lied and Higarashi and all of the, yeah, like the gory stuff too. Because
Wait,
like,
so you're calling out Abby for watching anime when she's young, but then you do the same thing.
okay, listen, I went from Pokemon is the best ever to, oh damn. Oh wow. Oh gosh. Hold on. Because my friends who knew about anime knew it before we got into middle school.
Uh-huh.
And they probably have seen all of this stuff before we did. Because I was still in that Pokemon and Yu Gi Oh phase, like the trading card game phase, before
Um,
I even knew any of the anime.
I was watching a lot of crazy stuff. The internet was scary back then, and I knew no bounds.
Because, like,
I
we
was
just,
just going in,
oh
looking
my
for
gosh.
everything.
Because we started off with playing outside and going home right after school, and playing the GameCube and Nintendo and the Mario and
Oh,
the
I missed my
Pokemans.
GameCube.
Yeah. And then out of nowhere, here's the internet. Boom, anime. Boom, have fun. And you're like, these two together, this will definitely go well. And then you realize you're in this whole hole that you can't get yourself out of, because then you just start realizing there's gore. There's things that I can watch that are rated R, but my parents don't know about it.
Yeah, it's just it was just some things that you watched and you were like, "Damn, should I have watched that?" Like, I don't know if that was actually a good idea. I'm never gonna talk about this with anyone
But
because
like,
especially back in those days, you didn't talk about anime with people. I mean, I know I didn't. I didn't talk about it with people. Like, I just kept it to myself. I didn't really you know, discuss it until high school when I met more people who were into it. But other than that, I really wasn't talking to people about it. I would just go to school. After coming out of school, I'll watch anime, and that's it.
yeah, so like when my friends basically introduced me to the actual anime, right? Because a lot of people don't consider Pokemon or Yu Gi Oh as anime, for like, to the extent of the word. I would literally like go and binge watch a bunch of these animes and then come back to school and try to talk about it. And everyone's like, nah, we're not into that right now. Like, we like anime, but you have to keep it a secret. And it's like, oh, weebs and
What are you, a
otakus are not
nerd?
accepted. We're nerds. We're drawing Pokemans on our paper and stuff. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. And yeah, like I agree. It wasn't until high school when like it became more acceptable,
I mean,
right?
especially now that we've been out of high school, everybody, especially now, you get to see so much new merch of anime stuff. Like, me, I've been collecting all the Sailor Moon merch that I can get. So it's nice that I get to see merchandise of anime that I used to watch when I was a kid, and I get to see it now and I still love it because like Sailor Moon is my favorite thing. I used to watch it as a kid, I think I forgot where they used to play. I don't know if it was WB
I thought it was
or
It
Cartoon
was
Network.
W
I
like
don't.
for 4 kids.
Yes, it was like something. I think it was like 4 kids or something. I can't remember,
Oh,
but I
Literally
used to
four kids.
jump on the bed, doing, singing the whole theme song, pretending I had a wand and everything. Like, I just loved it. And Cardcaptor Sakura, I watched it.
Oh
I
my
didn't
god.
really, I didn't remember it as much, but I've been watching it little by little just because it's on Netflix or Hulu. I can't remember which one. But Sailor Moon was always my favorite. So the collection I have is mainly Sailor Moon stuff.
I mean, you're lucky because they did the remake for it.
Yes, I watched it already. I've been watched. Of course, I was gonna watch that.
You
yeah.
were
So
like,
Sailor Moon is
really?
still relevant because they've remade it and they've like brought it back into the forefront.
Yeah, especially too if you like on Instagram, for example, if you see all the new merch, there's constantly for Sailor Moon, there's always new stuff coming out. Always new stuff coming out. So it's nice that they are not just doing like for kids, like they know they have fans who are, adults now, and we get to buy stuff that's nostalgic and it's like a handbag or like jewelry.
Mhm.
Like they're making things like that now. So I have a Sailor Moon bag. I have a few figurines and just I like the fact that I can have stuff that's not like there's nothing wrong with having something that's more like, for a kid, like the old toys, but it's nice that I can have like a handbag that Sailor Moon collabed with another brand or some
Mhm.
jewelry or some clothing.
Do you have the Tamashi Nations Sailor Moon statue that they came out with?
No, I don't. I have the cute Posket Princess Serenity little figure, and she's so pretty. I
Mm.
love it. I have the bigger because I think there's two sizes, so I have the bigger one.
I thought
And
you would get that one from Tamashi Nations because once it came out, everybody was on it.
there was one that I wanted of Sailor Moon that it was years ago. It was a few years ago. It had to do with like her being in like in a parfait cup or something, and she was kind of like in a waitress outfit. I thought it was so cute, and I don't think I can find it anywhere now. But it was one of the ones that I wanted. I was like, oh, I want this so much. But what I really have of Sailor Moon is like clothing, like the Uniqlo collaboration with
Oh,
Sailor Moon.
yes.
That sold out so fast, and I went and I bought what I could. I didn't get one shirt, but all the other shirts I have the designs of.
I mean, with collabs and like products from like very popular like animes, like if you don't get it when it's launched, either it's gonna cost an eyeball out of your face or you're never seeing it again.
Yeah, no, it was also to ColourPop, the makeup brand. They
Uh huh.
re-released the Sailor Moon collab, and I just snatched some, and I just bought myself some blush and some lipstick because it was like the third time of re-release, and I was like, nope. I lost it twice. I'm not losing it again. I am ordering some stuff, and then the Animal Crossing came out
Oh my gosh.
in one day, but I was one of the first people to buy something and they already shipped my stuff. So I'm just waiting on that.
Awesome. I can just imagine you going to a store and just starting snatching everything and you running out of it.
Cuz I was online, like I was waiting, like I was on my phone. It was like I think it was being released at 1 p.m. for us, and it was 12:59 open. I got what I wanted, put it in. You had to wait in a digital line, like
On
a
a queue,
virtual
right?
line just to like purchase your stuff. And they were limiting how many people could get it because a lot of the times when they're doing these collabs or limited edition things, people are going to buy a whole bunch of it just to sell it at a higher price cuz they know people can't get it anymore.
Oh my
So
gosh, and
to
nowadays
prevent
we have bots.
yeah, so they to prevent that, they made sure that for this collab with Animal Crossing that it was only 2 items you can get, like I mean not 2 items, 2 per each item. That's it. You cannot get more than that. So, I just bought what I bought and I had bought everything within a few minutes. Half an hour passed, half of the stuff was gone already.
Oh
Next
my
day
gosh.
passed, only one thing is left there. And right now I haven't even checked and that's probably gone too. But they did tell people we are going to restock eventually. Like it seems like they're taking more how you say, like they're making sure to let people know, like we're a little more, we're preparing more, we're telling you guys there will be more eventually. We'll restock because when the Sailor Moon one came out, the site crashed. No one could buy anything.
Boom.
Like everybody was ready. They were like, "I'm buying it," and that's it. So I guess it was good too because this time the site didn't crash. I was able to get the things I wanted. It was aligned. They made sure they limited for people. So I think this was a good approach. It was way better. But that does suck about getting limited edition things, especially like anime stuff. It's like once you can't get it, that's it. You're gonna have to either, get it from someone who's selling it triple the price or never get it.
Mm,
And that's
right.
it.
Yeah, that reminds me. Um, Literally when the PlayStation 5 came out, oh my gosh, it was such a hassle to get that. Also, Longchamp, which is a luxury bag company, um, had a collab with Pokemon. And oh my gosh, like literally this I walked into Macy's one day, literally just, to do my business and just go and spend my money that I don't have, right? And I literally walked in, turned my head for no freaking reason, saw the collab, and they were like, "Yeah, this released yesterday." I went in there, bought one of the bags, and ran out. So I was like, if I do not get one of these, it is over. I got the book bag, and
Mm.
then I went in 3 days later to get the purse that I saw that I really wanted. Sold out. It was over. Couldn't get it. Nowhere to be found anymore. That collab literally only lasted for like a week because then every place who had it was sold out. Literally only the leather bags of that collection was still there, but that's because one, it was double the price of the other stuff that a lot of people really wanted, and two, it was literally just like the stitching of Pikachu. It wasn't even like the actual like yellow Pikachu that you have on the bag. It's literally was just stitched in it. So it wasn't as
The
pretty.
minimalist design.
Yeah, it wasn't as eye catching. Like you couldn't tell it was a collab with Pokemon. The other ones that were the nylon bags, like those were colorful, white, black, Longchamp print, and then Pikachu everywhere all over the bag. So a lot of people were mad that they couldn't get it, and I went on eBay the other day to find that bag. Literally $600 to $700, quadruple the price of the original bag. I was so upset.
That is insane.
But that's the thing. Anything that has to do with like any anime, because when was it? One of the cons for Comic Con, Michael B. Jordan did a collab with, well, his own collab with Naruto
Hmm.
for Coach. Sold out. Everything. This, especially the Itachi um denim jacket that cost like $830, sold out in the first hour of its release. Gone. Like anything that has to do with anime, it will be gone before you can even blink.
Those anime fans be on clutch. They're like,
On point.
I don't even buy this brand, but they have a collab with a character I like. Take my money. I want it. That's it. I'm buying it.
It will be over for me and my whole life if Louis Vuitton or Gucci ever came out with a collab with anything Naruto or any anime related stuff. I would be done and gone, and it's over for me. I
Wait,
think I'll
did
have
you
to
try to
file
get a
bankruptcy.
jacket from Gucci, or which one was it?
Um, what do you mean?
Like at the one of the cons, I believe you're trying to look for a
It was
jacket.
Coach. It was the Michael B.
Oh,
Jordan X
oh, it was that one.
Coach.
Okay.
Yeah, I had put my name on the list and never heard back from them because they never got a new set of those jackets ever again.
Oh, so you were like on a waiting list?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
This was
damn.
literally the second I found out that they had an Itachi denim jacket. I ran to that Hudson Yard so fast. And then they were like, we don't have any more, but I can put you on a list. And if we do have any more coming in, then we will call you. Never again.
It's
That was
usually
it.
that way though. It's usually, when you see an anime collaboration with something, it usually don't come back. It
No.
usually does not come back. Like the Uniqlo and Sailor Moon thing, I have not seen it come back. It has
Mm-mm.
not came back since I bought it, and that was a while ago now.
Yeah, and Uniqlo likes to have um collabs with a lot of like a lot of anime stuff, and those are sold out quick. And I'm telling you, these weebs and otakus out here, we are all on this merch. We're monsters, apparently. Look at us selling out.
I mean, it's kind of crazy because like also it seems to be hard to get like the actual animes themselves, like on Blu-ray or DVD. It seems like they split everything into multiple parts just to get more money from you. Like I
Yeah.
know like a big problem is like for Sailor Moon, they give you like what like 5 episodes on a collection that costs like $100.
You know, I actually still have one of the VHS tapes of Sailor Moon. I
Hmm.
have it still. Like I have it in its package and everything. I think it had like 5 episodes on it. I don't even have a VHR VCR, my bad. VCR to even watch it. Probably people don't even know what the hell that is that I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
for
But
those who don't know what a VCR is, it's a big box where you put this bigger cassette. And if you don't know what a cassette is, it's a thing with tape. And it's not the tape that you put on like paper to glue it onto something else. No, 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 no. It's literally you have to rewind the whole tape in order to go back to the beginning. And if you don't do it after you finish watching the whole thing, you're screwed the next time you want to watch it because you're gonna have to wait the whole tape to be rewind all the way to the beginning.
Well,
And
that's why
in
it
the
was good when they came out with like the B-side tapes where you can play the other side like whatever next episode or the I guess my experience was like for music, like we had the A side and B side of a cassette
hmm
tape. So you play the songs on side A, then you flip it over to side B. It rewinds it while you're playing it, so you can play side A from the beginning after you play side B. So that was like a great invention
you
when they
had
started
some
doing
type
that.
of advancement with that because my dad probably owns like two cassettes with that. I've never had one like personally that I could do that with.
I mean,
we
that was the thing
just
that came later, but like it was definitely an advancement.
We poor out here.
we just giving out our ages at this point.
Yeah, at this point, you know we're ancient history. Hello, guys, we're vampires now.
I mean, I know I've never dealt with the records. I
No,
know records
I
have gotten
Oh,
like back into the forefront with like whatever hipster idea, but
I
uh,
mean, vinyls are coming back though.
right.
I
So
mean, I've heard people say that the sound is something very it's a different experience compared to like listening to something on your headphones or on a radio. So, I mean, I've never personally listened to them, but I heard
Right.
it's a different experience.
I mean, you'd have to have like a really good needle, and it only
hmm
plays that well like the first couple times because otherwise it's just degrading the record itself. So
That's
that's
why
why
it's just
CDs are
now
better,
collectibles though.
right? So you never play it, you just have it
Just hang it on the wall and make it look pretty.
basically.
My Sailor Moon VHS tape, that's what it is, a collection. I can't watch it, so it's just there,
But
just
it
sitting
probably
there.
costs like its value has gone up.
I don't know because it's not, you know how usually I think is when when someone's looking for a collectible or something, they're usually looking for the first edition of something or the last edition. I don't really have
Mm.
I think I have I don't know if I don't know I don't even know what number I have, but it's one with Sailor Mars on the cover. So I'm pretty sure it's not the first movie, well, first set of the episodes, but I don't know. I keep it just cuz I couldn't even believe I still had it, and I also had the Pokemon movie. I think with Mewtwo, but I
I
don't know
have
where
that
it is.
one.
I don't know where it is. I think my mom has it in her house, but
Tell her
I
to
don't
not
know.
throw that out.
I don't know if she still has it. I don't know what happened to it because I did take the Sailor Moon one with me when I moved for sure. Even if I can't do anything with it, I was like, I'm keeping it. You know, it's memories and it's old.
Yeah. But like even the Pokemon, like the first movie with the Mewtwo on it,
Mm.
that probably is a first edition because after that it was full straight on DVDs for that movie.
Oh my God! Do you remember
Was
too when
it?
it came?
Because like the Pokemon 2000 with Lugia, I also have it on VHS. So I don't know if like the transition to DVD was that quick.
No, because it they first came out in VHS and then the next time I saw them come back was on DVD. And then after that, it was either on like you would have to watch it on like a streaming network.
Uh-huh.
So probably, I mean, if you had money, you didn't have to go to Blockbuster to rent your stuff. You easily just go into a video store and just
Oh,
buy your stuff.
the first Pokemon movie, I looked it up, is Mewtwo Strikes Back. So
Hmm.
Pokemon 2000, that's what it says. That was the
Well,
first
Pokemon
movie.
2000 is the second one.
Okay, let me see. Because it says Pokemon the first movie, Mewtwo Strikes Back, and
Back,
then I
yeah,
see it says Pokemon 2000 with Lugia
that's
and
the second movie.
okay, so
I think
uh
the third one was with Entei,
Entei,
or
yeah,
and then the
that
fourth
girl
one
was
was Celadon.
annoying.
I
That
haven't
girl,
watched it.
that little girl is
I only
annoying.
watched the first two.
That little girl is annoying. I don't care.
Okay.
Change my mind.
because
She was just like a little brat.
I see something here called Pokemon the first movie. Like it literally says Pokemon the first movie.
Wait a minute.
And it shows Mew and Mewtwo on it.
Yeah, that one's the original Pokemon movie that came out. That's the one with like the scene where Ash turns into stone
Yeah,
and
I remember
Pikachu
all
and all the
that.
Pokemon. I have that movie. That's the exact one that I have in the
Yeah, I think that's
VHS.
the one I had. I'm not
Mewtwo Strikes
sure.
Back is a recent one.
No, because they recreated that one because it
Mm-hmm.
was already a thing and then they remade it.
Yeah, I know that movie came out later, but the first one was the first movie.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
But then they made another Mewtwo Strikes Back recently.
I
Wow.
see one here called Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution.
Probably that's the
Yeah,
newer one.
that's the newer one. It's showing me here. It's Evolution. So the Mewtwo Strikes Back, just regular, is the old one, and then
Mm,
Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution is the new one. I seen the new one though.
I haven't seen the
Apparently,
new
it's
one.
a CGI animation remake of the
Yeah.
first
Oh
film.
my gosh.
So
It wasn't bad though. It was pretty accurate to how the original movie was from what I could remember. It wasn't bad.
I mean, but you can't compare it to the first movie. That first movie though. That first movie taught me so much crap. Oh my gosh. Like literally I
about
think
accepting who you are, or what do you mean?
it was like accepting who you are, knowing that not everything's a competition, that we all can be friends here, that you can't be kidnapping people's Pokemon. Don't kidnap people.
And
I
Like
that
guess
literally,
Pikachu
there
can make
was,
you cry.
oh my gosh, that scene where Ash preferred to basically die instead of watching Pokemon fight each other was
Yeah.
so sad. I cried so much, and just thinking about the scene is gonna make me want to cry right now.
You don't
Such a
get
good
those
movie.
types of feels in the new seasons.
It's the feels. It's different. It hits different. Like besides, I think that one gave me a cry when the last episode of Yu-Gi-Oh when we had to say goodbye to a Tom. That
Okay.
one made me cry, and maybe like a newer anime like Clannad after story when Ushio died.
Oh, you can't even bring Clannad, and you probably spoiled it for people who've never seen it right now.
Spoiler alert! Ushio dies.
That anime, I can't watch it again. It will tear me apart. I
Oh
can't watch
my
it.
gosh! No, when Nagisa dies, killed me. But when Ushio died, you might as well have just left me dead. Don't even tell me about it, because you killed me 3 times after that.
Did you ever see Angel Beats?
I did. It wasn't that sad to me though.
It wasn't as sad, but I still cried.
I
Just
mean,
a
'cause
baby.
maybe
I guess
I
the
felt.
characters didn't really feel relatable in Angel Beats, but the story was still good.
Yeah.
I mean, because Angel Beats like okay, we know that all of the people in the band are dead. It's just the way they died is like the backstory to it. And I'm like, okay, but the characters are already annoying. So can I feel that bad for them? Except I think for the one character, um, I don't remember.
The
I'm
one who
probably
speaks
remembering
broken
this.
English, he's the good character.
What was it? There was the one when they were underground and he had died before they got rescued. Or am I
I think
thinking
that's the
about?
I think
I
that's
thought it
the
was the
main
main character.
character.
Yeah, I
Oh,
thought
okay.
so.
That one made me feel something, but I never cried.
Yeah, because then it had to do with the girl that they thought they were fighting her, but she wasn't actually bad. I can't remember how it was, but then everybody started disappearing. Like everybody, I guess, was moving on or something like that.
Yeah, so once like they
Killed
realized
me.
that they were dead, they moved on. I think they had to accept that they were dead. Something like that. I never finished it.
I finished it, but I don't remember how it went. I don't have a good memory really,
Same.
so like I don't remember like the first anime and manga that I consumed.
I think the first manga I ever read was Kitchen Princess. I think that's what it was called.
Ooh,
It was
I
like a
don't know that
little
one.
it was like a little cute shoujo manga about a girl making like sweets, and what was cool about that manga was in the book it would show you recipes on how to make the thing that she's making.
That's cool.
That was so cute. Like I would just read it just for nostalgia. I need to read it. I think it had romance involved, but I was younger when I read it, so I don't remember.
There was so the funny thing is in high school because it was early in high school and I started buying manga. Strand usually had manga on very discounted prices, like $3 or $4. So I used to buy like the random manga, like Hinata, which was a fan service manga that I literally regret ever buying. Um, then there was one.
Oh, it was like a dojin.
Yeah, it was like a bunch of girls and they all wanted the same guy, and it was oh my gosh, I just and he was a pervert, which made things worse. Don't like those types of animes or mangas. Then there was Pixie Girl, which was literally the pinkest manga I ever owned. But it was like about like this fairy, and like this fairy that was very funny, trying to help the girl, like confess her love to a guy, and they were probably like middle school kids too. That one was funny. But yeah, I used to get like the most random manga.
Oh, you were a daredevil. You just said, I'm gonna grab this and see where it takes me.
Exactly. Like that's why I have so many uncompleted series, incomplete series because I would buy it because of the discount, but then at some point never got around to reading them. And like if the artwork looked cool in the front cover, I would buy it. But even though it's like volume 6, and I'm like, well, that's cool. I'll just have it until I get volume 1, and I never got it. So it's just there sitting there, unread, untouched.
Oh, since you guys are still out there in New York, since sadly I'm not out there anymore.
Big sad.
Um, yeah, you have you ever been to Kinokuniya? It's near Times Square.
Well, there's the one at Bryant Park.
I think that's where it's around. Yes, that one. That
Yes.
like there you can get a whole selection. I used to love getting the fruit drinks there, looking through all the stuff that they had there. I miss that store.
That store is still there, still beautiful. The only thing that I don't like about it is that their Japanese selection is way bigger than their English
Uh,
section.
hmm. I mean,
It's the
uh,
Japanese store that is very popular in Japan, so I don't know. Makes sense that they're mostly Japanese.
Yeah, but you're in the United States, and how many people actually can read Japanese?
I mean, there are apps that
Apparently
help
enough, if they
you.
still have all that Japanese stuff, like clearly people are buying that.
There are a
Hmm.
lot of people from Japan who migrated over here over time, especially in New York. So it makes
Yeah,
sense that.
but also that store is very expensive. That's another thing that's like I will go to you if there's something you have and nowhere else has it.
I mean, it's New York. Everything's expensive.
No,
I will
because it
tell
was just
you. Go ahead.
oh no, go you go.
No, the food is. I think I was spoiled with the food over there because I've been trying to get food over. Like I went to a place, try to get some Japanese food because I was
Mhm.
craving it for a while. Like I wanted some karaage chicken, I wanted some ramen, just or like some curry or
Mhm.
anything. And I went to this place. I saw the reviews. I was like, okay, whatever. It seems cool. Went there, spent way more than it should have been. Way more than you would spend on one person in New York. It was so disappointing. I didn't finish any of it. I was just so
Oh
upset.
no.
I think we got so spoiled with the food over there in New York, especially, near St. Mark's where all the
Oh
Japanese
my gosh.
restaurants are. So I was just like, damn, this sucks. The
It's
next time I go
hard.
visit, I need to go and get the food over there.
I feel like New York, maybe Texas and California have like the most authentic Asian cuisines, if I'm not mistaken, because like a lot of other states are usually like, this is what we call Japanese. Yeah, have fun. And then you realize, what the is this? Right? Um but like New York, oh my gosh, you can go anywhere. You got Koreatown, you got Chinatown, you literally have St. Mark's. Everywhere you can get good food.
Yeah, but I mean, nothing beats Tokyo food.
Oh my, says the one who's been to Japan
That's
Oh,
why I
you've
said
been
it.
to Japan? Oh, that's so cool.
I've been there
twice.
twice.
Wow. So how is it over there? I mean, what year did you go?
The first time was before I switched to the new college, so it was like 2014 ish, 2013, I think. Summer of 2013, I believe. And then the second time was 2 years ago with my family.
Oh, so it was pretty recent then.
Yeah, the second trip wasn't too great because I only had a week and it was basically all spent in Kyoto. But like we arrived in Osaka and and traveled to Kyoto, and then I had to go back before uh I guess the rest of the family stayed in Japan and did whatever they wanted over there. But like, so I didn't really get to experience much in my second trip. But like, the first trip was purely just for uh, leisure, and I was there for 3 weeks, I think. And my brother has been in Japan for several years now. So he was in Japan when I first went there. He was working like I guess an hour outside Tokyo, so I was basically living with him while I was exploring Tokyo.
Oh, wow. I mean, I know from all the things, because I never been out there. I mean, I would like to visit at some point, but I know
Mhm.
the culture over there. I think it's a lot of culture shock out there. It's different. I've read all about, all these things, people saying what not to do, how it's different, how people, especially too, like one of the big things I hear is like, you're not supposed to really express yourself out there. Like if you're mad, you can't just go out and be like, I'm upset and I'm just upset and I want everybody to know. Like I heard it's a big no out there.
It's like the because in
I mean,
China it's the same way. You have to save face all the time. Like you have to pretend things are okay when things are not.
right, but like if you're a foreigner in Japan, they don't hold you to the same rules. Even if you live
Mhm.
there for the rest of your life, you're still treated as a foreigner. So you're given, I guess, different treatment, and they don't expect you to hold to all their norms and cultural identities. Uh, but they also, I guess, it's also limited because they are prejudiced against you, just like from a professional standpoint. But like you can basically do whatever you want, and they won't hold you to the same rules.
I mean, you can just use your "I'm a foreigner" card, and literally, they will either be
Basically,
very nice to you. They love foreigners. That Japan does, but they don't love you living there too much.
they love
Um,
you for the tourism.
exactly, because
I think
Japan
that's
is
all
basically tourism.
places. I
I
but
So
mean,
I
New
the
York,
oh,
New York, they don't give a. It's like we hate you guys.
I think it's no, like the thing with New York is more of it's so crowded. There's so many people, all right? We got too many people. And then there's people who come to our city and are like, "Oh, the city smells like, like it smells like shit or whatever." And then we're like, "Then why the hell did you come? Go back to
It's
wherever
like
you came from." Like
one.
you came to this city complaining and now you come here to visit you're complaining about it, then why did you come in the first place?
It's like, one, we New Yorkers can make fun of New York. Two, the second I hear a foreigner make fun of New York, now you're picking a fight. Like, everyone has heard the rumors about New York City. Then if you chose to still come here, don't be surprised because everyone has told you. Experience.
I
The
think
thing is, oh yeah, go ahead.
no, I think the main thing is if any of you guys are planning to go to New York at some point, just you gotta know that everybody's in a rush. We don't even
Mm-hmm.
gotta go nowhere, but we're in a rush. Don't stand there and try to take a picture of something because someone's gonna run you over and curse you out. Like, I'm not joking. That's a thing. You have to. If
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna take a picture, stand on the side. Take your picture. It's fine, but don't stand in people's way. They're gonna get mad at you. Everybody got somewhere to go. We're running around like crazy. Even if we ain't got nowhere to go, we got somewhere to go. We got somewhere to be. You ever heard of the saying, I'm walking here? Because I literally am. I'm walking everywhere. I need to go. So, make the space.
And
See,
it gets
that's
really bad at
hilarious.
Times Square
Oh
where
my
people
Yes.
just
god.
stand there for minutes at a time and you just have to push past them. Like, out
Yeah,
of my way.
if you're gonna go visit New York, you go ahead and visit Times Square, but I'm gonna warn you, it's it's very crowded. It's very crowded, and especially if you're going during a certain holiday, or I don't
Oh
know if you could say
my
nighttime is more crowded. Like when my boyfriend came from the island and for the first time visiting New York, because he never been, to the U.S. Period. He's
god.
only been on the
Mm-hmm.
island. So when he came, he was not impressed with Times Square. When I finally showed, I was like, "Look," and he just looked at me. He said, "Okay." I was just like, how many people have been dying to see these lights? And he said, I see a bunch of ads. And I was like, you're not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You're really not. But like I said, if you are planning to go to New York, especially if you're not someone who's from a city, like a major city, like you maybe live in the suburbs or you're from a countryside, be a little prepared. Everything is really fast paced, moving around. Everybody's running around in circles around you. You got to be just prepare yourself because there you're going to meet nice people, yeah, but it's still a city at the end of the day. You got to, be vigilant, pay attention, especially on the trains.
I would say, think of it as if you were driving, right? If the speed limit tells you have to go 50 miles per hour, don't be the butthole to start driving 30 miles per hour because you just want to take a photo of a billboard, right? You don't just automatically stop and expect the car behind you not to run you over. Because New Yorkers walk at a certain speed. We walk in a certain speed, and if the second you mess with our speed, either we got to be on our high alert to not run into you and move fast to move away from you, or we run into you and then we curse you out, basically. There's no other way. You either
I,
move with the flow or you move aside.
I could give a good example. I'm going to break it down to all of you listening how New Yorkers work. One time I was going to school. I was going in the subway. I fell down the stairs. And you know what all the New
Oh no.
Yorkers did? Walked right over me and kept walking. Nobody gave a damn about what just happened. They just walked over me and kept
No,
moving. Nobody bothered. I twisted my ankle and everything.
no,
So
that's
that just
awful.
goes to show you how it is over there. That's one thing I'm gonna tell you too. Everybody minds their business. Don't stare at people. That is
Oh
like a
yeah.
don't stare at people. You might be okay and get away with it. Don't stare at people in New York. They will want to fight you. That's not a joke. I'm
Oh my.
serious.
No. Oh my gosh. Especially the staring. If you're in the subway and just sitting there and just staring, don't do that.
People will literally look at you and be like, "What the you looking at?" They don't be surprised someone just talks to you like that. It's just how people talk cuz you staring at them.
It's not like
I'm
we're
not trying to
violent.
deter
It's just
people
like,
from I'm not trying to tell you guys, "Oh, New York is scary, don't go there." I'm just saying it's probably different from what you used to, you know?
also, everything's loud.
Yeah.
Everything's loud. Don't expect to go to like a restaurant and nice and peace and quiet. If you want that, you're gonna have to go to a really high end one because That Olive Garden is not gonna do you any good. And literally everything, like
I
just
like Olive
steaks.
Garden though.
Okay, Olive Garden is good, but it's not quiet. Like everywhere you go in New York City is not quiet. It's literally packed, it's loud. You're literally gonna hear people yelling at each other, or literally cars honk because they are literally going, like the cars move as fast as the people are walking. Everyone doesn't, like a lot, most people in New York don't have patience to deal
Yeah,
with
the
you.
patience is non-existent.
Like either you move with the flow or you get out of it.
You know, as they say, do as the Romans do. Do as the New Yorker does. Just go with it.
And don't complain that everything is expensive. New York is expensive no
It's
matter
it's
where
not just
what.
expensive for you, it's expensive for all of us. That's one of the reasons I left, sadly. I do miss the convenience though.
Oh my gosh, all the bodegas, all the
That's what I
Asian
miss the
cuisine.
most. Everything closes out here where I'm living. Like, obviously the fast foods close later, but you know, if I want to get a sandwich, a turkey sandwich or something from the deli, I don't have that. I can't. I can't go and just be like, I want a sandwich at 12 o'clock at midnight. I want a sandwich. I can't do that out here.
Oh my gosh, yeah, because a lot of delis here are like 24 hours. And
Yeah,
that's a nice convenience.
there's no 24 hours around here. The latest
Mm-mm.
is like 2 in the morning, which I'm like, I don't feel good about traveling 2 in the morning out here anyway, because you gotta drive everywhere, but
Yeah.
I'm still
No,
working on
here
getting my
you
permit
walk
anyway.
everywhere. New York, you walk everywhere. You, if you want to get somewhere faster, you might as well walk to your destination. There's
Yeah.
no way you're gonna get on a cab and expect her to get there on time. It's not
Oh,
happening.
and that's the thing too. I found out. You know how in New York it's say I tell you, "Oh, it's 3 miles away." You'll say, what's the first thing you're going to say? That's far. That's that's far because you
That's
walk
dumb
it,
far.
right? So here, 3 miles is nothing. 3 miles here driving is like, that's gonna be like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, you know. But in New York, it's like, oh man, that's far. I'm not going. I'm not gonna walk 3 miles.
See, that's like half an hour of my time. I don't think I got it. Oh my gosh. I love New York. I don't think I will ever move anywhere else. Like, I will force myself to stay here no matter what. Because New York is it's a unique place. It's not for everyone. It's not for everyone. If you like that rush, then this place is for you. If you go with the flow, this place is for you. If you like convenience of just walking out of your apartment building to get pizza, McDonald's, and a deli or a restaurant, this is the place for you. Like, there's no driving needed. And if anything, rent a city bike. Everyone has it now. Very convenient. At least with a city bike, you don't really have to. Don't quote me on this, guys, but you don't have to follow the traffic laws. Okay, you can just
What
speed
are you
through.
talking about?
Listen. Nowadays, with the pandemic happening, you know how many people, delivery people, have gone through cars because they're like, I gotta go. They
Uh-huh.
don't follow the rules. As long as you're careful, don't.
Sure.
Yeah, it's New York. New York City is great, and again, the city. I don't mean the state. That's a whole different country right there. The city is where it's at.
Uh-huh.
Uh, but yeah. So, and Abby, probably the city misses you a lot.
Who knows? Who knows? I mean,
If they're paying attention.
yeah, if they paid attention, life goes on, you know. But I miss it. Plan a visit hopefully soon. Don't know when, with this whole pandemic. I got to see my family recently. Last year they came to visit, so it was nice to see them since I moved out here because I've only been out here for a year now. Like it's just been a year, but I do miss it. I'm still trying to get used to it because people here are different from New York. Like
Oh
I
gosh.
notice where I'm at. Everybody's nosy as hell. Everybody's paying attention to you. Like everybody wants to know your business. I'm like, I'm not used to this.
But it's because you're so close to each other.
I guess. I mean, yeah, I guess because when in New York with the apartments and everything, everybody mind their business. Even if you hear someone yelling from the walls, you mind your business. But here, everybody wants to. know everything about you, ask you 21 questions, and I'm like, I'm not used to that.
The second you land, you already got reporters and the paparazzi wanting to know everything.
Yeah, people out here different. Nah, I miss New York though. I do, but it's just I can't get a house out there. I want to eventually get a house, have a place. I don't want to live in an apartment forever. So I think
Tamoya
Oh,
that's one of
hates
the big,
houses.
huh?
Tamoya hates houses.
You
I
hate
hate
houses?
houses.
Why?
Houses, because we have a house, and I don't like it. I don't like I don't like houses for the fact that I don't know. It's two floors and stairs and
You currently living in a house at the moment?
no, I'm still at the apartment, but
Oh,
my dad
okay.
owns a house and
It's in New York in the state
yeah,
or
but houses are listen, you buy a house, you're literally in the middle of nowhere here. I feel like if you're
What do you
not in the
mean?
city, you're not existent. You know, it's not as the same excitement. It's too quiet for me. And depending on how big the house is, you never know if a person can just break into your house and just go in and you wouldn't know,
I
right?
mean, that happens in apartments too though, like, people breaking
Unauthorized
into.
persons can get into apartment buildings. Like you can just walk in behind someone else.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cuz
but
that happens a lot of the time.
unless you're going through the front door of my apartment, I will definitely know that it's you because you're not coming up to the 20th floor, right? Through the window.
You never know. There's some
I mean,
Spider-Mans out there.
oh my god, some Spideys. No, my dream is to buy an apartment here because
Oh,
I
so you want
like
you want
apartments.
an apartment. Well, damn,
She
that is
wants
going to
an
be.
penthouse on Fifth Ave.
Okay, listen, I
That
with
is so
my teacher's
specific.
salary, it's never happening. No, I never said penthouse. I said an apartment with at least 3 rooms. That's all I want. That's all I want. That was all I
Cuz
need.
I think for me is I don't want I don't want to be I don't have to be in a city, but I would like to be close by a city. You know what I mean? Like if
Hmm.
I find something that's at least close by where I can be like, you know what? I feel like taking a stroll in the city. Just go right there, whatever. Cuz we still thinking about if we want to stay in the specific area that we're in. We've been looking, me and my boyfriend been talking about going somewhere else a little farther down to see maybe something that's more city area, but I don't
Convenient.
know. Yeah, more like that because that's what I'm used to. He's more driving. He's known driving and everything, but me, I'm more into I walk everywhere or whatever, and I still got to learn how to drive. I driven the car a few times already out here, but I'm working on getting my permit. I already took the permit test yesterday
Nice.
and I failed, but
Oh,
I was close to passing. I really was. I was 2 questions away, and I got the 11th question wrong. And a lot of the questions was because I second guessed myself.
oh
But I
God.
studied, but I'm gonna take it again this week. Hope I should pass this time, but I'm gonna study more. Hopefully, I pass. Start driving around, but I do miss, just the convenience. Hopefully, we get a place that's more near the city.
Well, hopefully that way you can go back to your convenience, right?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my
so
God.
I don't really know what I'm gonna end up doing since I'm in an apartment in the city, so I pay the extra taxes, but I work outside the city, so I have to drive. So it's like not the best, but it's also not like a long commute or like with a lot of traffic since I'm mostly against the normal path of
Oh,
traffic.
like, are you going to like Jersey or what's the other place?
Well,
Not.
I just head north for work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you are one of those New Yorkers that literally can have a car. If you're in Manhattan, then what's the point of having a car?
Right, but I
Cause
don't
my
know if I
boyfriend
want
bought
the
the, c-
car.
cause my boyfriend bought the car, and when he came by, when he came to New York and living in an apartment, but it was a pain in the ass to have a car. To be honest, like
Oh,
you're better off just taking the subway.
yep.
Because you can never find parking and you get a ticket. You know how many times he got a ticket for something just parking somewhere or he had to move the car? It's a pain in the ass to have a car.
True. Like literally here, you need to check the signs twice just so that you're not reading wrong.
And then
and
it
it's
has like
free
three
parking.
different things going on. Then you're like, wait, this contradicts the other. I don't know if I should park here
Yes,
or not.
yes. And your safest bet is to just park at a meter, but then
Yeah.
it's a meter and you gotta pay. And then parking lots, you still gotta pay. So unless you wanna risk it and pray to God that you're not gonna get a ticket, or you either pay it. And estimate how long you're gonna take, because those meters will be like, you said 15 minutes. Where are you? Oh my gosh, but yeah, it's crazy out here. Crazy, crazy. But if you do come, we'll welcome you. Maybe not the nicest way, but we do it with good intentions. I'll just say that.
It'll toughen you up, that's for sure.
Whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
I guess.
I guess it's more of like you're not babying anyone.
Oh
Nope.
Like
no.
this
Nope.
is the way it is. Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it. Price too high, go somewhere else.
That's what I did. And there's no shame in that, you know?
No, like I said, it's not for everyone, and there's just like some things that, like, even if you do love being here, you just, if you financially can't do it, because living in New York is really hard. Um, you need the money for it. So if you can't, you can't. If you can, lucky.
I
You
can
gotta
barely
hustle.
afford it.
Huh?
I can barely afford it.
Again, if you can, you can. If you can't, it's okay.
Yeah, you gotta either you work in three jobs or you got like three roommates. That's just the reality out there.
Gosh.
I can't really deal with roommates.
Oh yeah, with your experience with roommate, mm, nope.
I mean, I don't know if I told you about like the first problem I had with a roommate.
I don't think so.
Oh, uh, I mean, it was essentially the same thing, but
Oh
worse.
gosh. Oh, ew.
But I guess this is going to be a topic for another day.
Yes, roommates, another day, another time.
Roommates, horror stories. I've never had a roommate, so I always get I those type of things scare me because I don't know if they're gonna just go into my room or like take my stuff or I don't you know what I mean? You don't know the person like that.
See, that I have something to talk about, but again, that's for another topic, another time, another time. But you can join us to hear about all of the horror nightmares about roommates. It would be fun.
Yeah, so we can scar you for life.
Yes, exactly.
Well, at least the closest thing to a roommate I have is my boyfriend. So at least I'm with someone who I've been like, I've known you for years now. There's nothing that you can reveal to me now at this point.
You're like, I. You can live here.
And
All
with
right.
that, I think we're done for
Yeah,
today.
that
Double
is.
the amount of time that we usually do.
Oh my gosh, yeah, definitely. And thank you so much, Abby, for joining us in this week's podcast. It was really fun having you here.
Oh, thank you guys for having me. I was so nervous. I mean, I hope I wasn't rambling on and I hope I answered your questions, gave good enough answers. I hope anyway.
I think you
Oh
did
no,
well. You're a
you're good.
natural.
Yeah, good. You're good. You're good. And listen, we're weird here. It never goes as planned. Apparently, with my Wi-Fi connection, so you're good.
I mean,
You
your
did
Wi-Fi
good.
got a little better
Oh
towards
no,
the
I had to.
end,
Oh
but
yeah, I had to change it. But oh my gosh. But yeah, so we had a lot of things to talk about, and I'm glad you were here. Where can the viewers find you, Abby?
oh, yes. You can find me on Instagram at Abiirinn. That's Abiirinn. You can also find me on YouTube, which I need to upload more often. Same name. All my social media, if you find me. I have a Twitter, don't really use it. I'm mainly on Instagram and YouTube, and you can just find me on, just look up Abiirinn and you'll find my stuff there.
Awesome. And yeah, she does commission. She's really awesome, and she has stuff on there that you can look, and she can always customize things for you, which again, very, very in love with our cover art for this podcast. So awesome. Thank you again for that one.
I'm so
Yeah,
glad you
it
guys
was a
liked
super
it.
custom art.
Very, oh my gosh, very custom. But
Even
yeah,
down to the individual lines, we were customizing it. I
oh
hope we
yeah.
weren't too
Picky.
detailed or picky for you.
Nah, I've heard some commission horror stories. You guys were fine. Don't worry about it. I've
Maybe we'll
heard
do a
crazy
mix.
things.
I
We'll
mean,
do
as
a
long
mix with your commission stories and our roommate nightmares.
I think as long as the customer pays, then it's not a horror story, right? Is that how
I
it goes?
mean, from what I've heard, because not me personally, but I've heard other artists talk about it, and it's like I've heard some crazy stuff where people are just like one example I've heard of artists saying that someone will try to commission them, be like, I want you to draw you, and I want you to draw yourself as in an adult scenario, and the artist is like, no,
Oh,
yeah,
ew.
you get some
Blech.
weird stuff out there.
That is, oh gosh, that sounds like it.
That's one way to flirt, I guess.
In the flirting, what not to do in the book 101. Oh gosh.
Ask them to pose naked for you, like in Titanic.
Oh no. Oh. But yeah, thank you again, Abby, for joining us. And thank you all for listening to our 2-hour long podcast for this week. We will see you guys next week with another podcast, maybe not as long, but you still enjoy. Again, if you're listening to us on YouTube, please comment down below your opinions and ideas about this episode and what you would like to hear next. And we are also available in which apps, Chris?
You want the full list?
Just to name a few.
Well, I guess the mother platform that I use for distributing the podcast is through Anchor. You can find us on anchor.fm/otaku. And from there, it distributes to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and then some smaller ones like Breaker, Pocket Cast, and Radio Public. If there's another platform that you guys know about, I can see if I can distribute to there too, if that's better for you guys. But typically, the big ones are Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to be leaving. So we will see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye bye.